Here we are. Now you should be able to hear me, yeah? Hi, everybody. um, okay, hopefully I'm just getting set up. I have, oh, the lyrics are up on the left. Basically, I'm going to be running through the album uh, track by track, and then after each track, I'm going to, like, pause a bit and chat and hang out or whatever. I'm trying to, like, mute my own visuals, so I'm just seeing the chat, because I have, like, the streaming thing that I'm doing, and then the delay of seeing it at the same time. So I'm very, very new to all of this, but I'm making it work. Hope everybody's doing good. Thanks for stopping by. I just need to do one more tweet about this too to let people know. And I'm getting the album set up here to play. Here we go. Okay, so I'm all like ready to go. I'm just sending out that tweet. Ooh, great content being like on my phone tweeting about tweeting about the stream. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Oh my god, 381 people. Holy shit. Okay, that number is going up and up and up and up and up. We're about to, if you're new here and you don't know what's going on, you are about to hear my brand new record that is coming out tomorrow, confusingly the same day as the new Lady Gaga record, which is really fun. We're like going at it at the same time. But it's an odds and sods record, so it's a new record, but it's like a bunch of different material throughout kind of like the past 7 or 8 years that have been compiled and then also finished and turned into actual songs and all of that stuff. So really excited about it. Thank you for some subscribers happening. Does a fun little like explosion on the screen. Thank you very much. Okay, so just sending this last tweet out. My team of people is very small, and I'm a big part of my team of making things happen, so I have to just like get shit going. Slash that's music. Okay, we're gonna start this record. I'll be like fielding questions and stuff too as we go, like after each track and seeing how people feel about stuff. So here is the first one. I'm gonna mute my mic so I'm not interrupting you listening to each song, but I can like try and say stuff in the chat, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Here we go. There's a really long ass reverb trail on this song, and I'm talking over it, but that's how it goes. Great. So that's the first one. Oh my god, I have iTunes on shuffle, so I almost fucked this up. So I'm not going to start the next one right away. I'm just going to see what's up with people. But let me give you a little bit of background on that one. I have some friends who basically like asked me to kind of like try and get something together for a possible like VR project a long time ago, and that I was really excited about it, and I had the opportunity to kind of like create a thing for them. And this was the song that came out of that. It was one of the only ones that's on this compilation, Pop Music / False B-Sides 2, that's like that was like created as a full piece. Like the whole thing kind of like came together with the lyrics, with all the different pieces of it all at once, and was just finished. So that's rad. And I that was how many years ago? I can't remember. But basically like the opportunity to use it hadn't come up, and the project was still happening with them, but it was kind of like it just didn't make sense to use it right away. So it's kind of been in limbo, and I just asked, like, is it okay if I use it for this compilation that I'm putting together of my own stuff? And they're like, yeah, that's totally fine. So I have it. Any questions about this first track? I know there is a lot of chat, so I will do my best to try and grab some questions before I get going on the next song. Can you name the years of each track? It would be so hard to do that, but I could try. No, it wasn't Skyrim VR. I picked it as the first track because it was like, I think with the first track for something, you always try and pick a tone setter. And for me, like for Romaplasm, it was brutally a tone setter. That was my 2017 record, where it's like, it laid out all the vibes and emotions and feels that I wanted. Whereas this, I think, is a middle ground. It's kind of like, because it's an odds and sods compilation of like random songs from all over the place, it's hard to have like a proper thoroughfare in a record like this. So Immerse, I think, is the song that kind of like is a really solid in-between of a lot of different aspects of what's on this record. That it's like, there's some kind of experimental noises in it, but it's also very pop focused and like verse chorus type of thing. It's also, to me, very, very listenable. And I think there's some other stuff that's like harsher, like less listenable or something. So it's like right in between. It's very centered. So, oh fuck, there's so many things. It immerses you in the album. Exactly. Okay, sick. Jesus, there's so much chat. Thanks, Dina. Doing my best. Okay, here we go. Thanks everybody for like hanging out and saying hi and stuff. I'm glad everybody's having a good time. I am going to play the next track, which is called Tropic Laurel.
All the things I thought about, runs into nature as a chaser down. Here's a crown I found of laurel leaves, queen of all the things in sunbeams, anoint me. The crown I found of laurel
Sick, so that's that one. I have a collection of Mr. Incredibles. That's what that is. I have a bunch of them. Uh, my mom's in the chat, which is pretty sick. Um, thanks for the... I don't even know what these are. Are these bits? Thank you. And thanks to the people that subscribed earlier and everybody hanging out and saying hi. The song was not about Mr. Incredible. It's kind of a partner song to a song from the first compilation called Nordic Laurel. So this is the... There's two compilations. There's Pop Music / False B-Sides and Pop Music / False B-Sides 2. The first one came out in 2011, but it was like digital only. I made like weird cardstock on tour that was kind of artful, and I sold that. But it never had like a physical release outside of being a CD in Japan. But this whole effort is that not only did I have enough for a second compilation, but it was a great time to like give physical media to the old one at the same time. So that's why we have like the partnered records, where I have two and I have the first one, which doesn't have a 1 on it in the title, but it's there. But look in the corner. See, we have 1 and 2. Sick. That's design, baby. So I brought these out because I was going to show you that it's like, on the first compilation you have Nordic Laurel, and then the song you just heard is Tropic Laurel. And Tropic Laurel is of a set with the other one in that Nordic Laurel is about like a son. It's like the perspective of like raising a kid, raising your son. And then Tropic Laurel is like raising a daughter type song. And it's more like a vignette of like fatherhood about both of those things, even though I'm obviously not a dad. It's kind of like a vision of that, of what it might be like and how it might feel. So it's like a pop song out of that displaced perspective that I don't know, but I like to think about type of thing. So that's what that song is. So what are some questions? Because the entire time I'm talking, I can't think of questions and also speak at the same time. Might release it on CD. Dilf Channeler, that is more or less the idea. There's no through line with mix. Also, I don't mix a whole record at once. Maybe that's terrible, but I mix songs individually as I go, and then once the master is applied to it, the mastering process is the like getting them to all sit together. The whole thing is, as like a solo producer, mixing is like happening as I go, as I make the song, and it's like a continuous process. And for me, it's a big part of the art of producing a song, because it's super important to me how loud something is and where it sits and all that sort of shit. And there can be really artful choices made in doing that sort of thing. So yes, Sean, got back to you. It's remastered. The first compilation was remastered for this new release, so that they're kind of like, they sit evenly together if you're listening to the first compilation and this new compilation, False B-Sides 2. The glitch sound in that one, I believe, I'm just double checking here. Yeah, so my bandmate Morgan Greenwood is, he lives in Calgary in Alberta, but we used to live together for a bit with my brother, and we were always kind of like working on music and doing our own thing, and every now and then we would like come together with stuff that we had, and he had a bunch of files of like really weirdly manipulated cello samples. And sorry, I'm burping. And that glitchy sound is the one thing in that song that is not me. That was the thing that basically, like, he was throwing me through all this stuff that he had, and I was just like, yo, that's super sick, that sound. Can I, like, borrow it and fuck around with it? And I did, and then that became the stem of what you hear. So I'll just play that very, very first part back for a second so you can hear it. Just that little like, and then I like ended up cutting it around and making it more rhythmic to fit like the process of the song and all that sort of stuff. But he's credited on the record for that production because it's his sound. So thanks very much, y'all. Morgan's music. Where can you find Morgan's music? It's a very good question. His name is Morgan Greenwood, and so he has a release on Bandcamp under that name. And then he also made music as the group Azeda Booth, which is Azedabooth. His music is incredible. He's like a lifelong inspiration ever since I heard his stuff. I'm one of my best friends now, which is amazing. So his shit is great. Will the new album be on streaming in its remastered form? Yes. As of tomorrow, when it comes out, both B-Sides 2 and the first B-Sides are like fully coming out with their like remastered and newly mastered compatible forms on all streaming services and all that shit. You can buy it wherever. So, sick. Did you meet Morgan through being a fan of a Zeta Booth? Yes, I did. My friend, I think Katie initially showed me from the group Braids, who I toured with a long time ago. She and that whole band were obsessed with Morgan's music, and they basically were like, you should listen to Morgan's music. Katie Lee was like with me in the car and was like, I put this thing together. Here's like his full-length album and his EP, and you should just fool around with it. And I became like diehard obsessed in like a day or two. I like could not believe how good it was. So that's great, and I love his music. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because there's a lot going on. Here we go. Here's the third one, which some of you may recognize. Okay, hi again. Um, so sorry for the funny false start there. Played the song before it. Um, this was a Roman Plasm era B-side, and it just totally didn't fit with that record. But I'm glad. I'm glad you like. Yeah, if you're curious, Low Limit is in the chat right now. Low Limit did the background visuals that are adorning this stream, and has also done all my live visuals of late, and they're amazing. So yeah, this is also thanks, Devinu. This is a listening luncheon, so you can be having lunch and listening along and hanging out. That song, Mikaela Corridor, has the fucking greatest music video ever that I am in love with, directed by Dan Straight. And if you go to my YouTube, you can see the whole thing, and it's amazing. And he did an incredible job with it, and it's so bonkers. And yeah, please check it out because it's like my favorite thing. Also, to have released it once kind of quarantine stuff had started, and it's like the most like outdoor kind of dangerous thing where I'm like in crowds of people. I'm literally like face down in an alley and stuff like that. It's like crazy. But I love that song or that video. And then this song is like, I'm trying to remember exactly like how it emotionally came together, but it's one from quite a ways back that because it came together as like not an album song, you do, at least for me, I do a lot of kind of like displacing things that are not taking up my brain space. So it was like while I was working on Roman Plasma, I was like, oh, this doesn't fit. And so I just stopped thinking about it. And so when I came back to it, I was just like, oh, this is really fun and I want to keep working on it. And then the lyrics came kind of mismatched from something entirely different, but I felt kind of emotionally worked with the song where it was like poppy, but a little weird and spooky, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, I think initially I had just finished reading the book Annihilation, you know, that crazy movie that came out that was by Alex Garland. I'd read the book and I was obsessed with this like spiral tower business and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and like this weird narrative about like a never-ending closet corridor and queerness and kind of like this thing of being like, I'm sorry that like I don't, because it's like addressing a woman and being like, I'm sorry that I'm like not down anymore type of thing, but like now I'm out of the closet or something. The outside is evergreen. I haven't thought too much about the song in a very long time, but that's more or less how it goes. Do you have any questions on that one? Sorry, I'm like trying my best. Ever do more behind the scenes production process content like you did with Beta TV back in the day? Yes, and you should stay tuned to this stream in particular, but also I will do other ones in the future, I think. What else? Do you have any plans to tour with the album when it's safe to do so? I think that's a question you could ask any band or any working artist on earth, and they would be like, yeah, but I don't know about that right now. Why did you shave your head? I wanted to, because the video was going to be a type of thing that was really bonkers, and I thought it would be a very good idea to make it even weirder. I don't know how to explain it, but it was basically just like Dan had all these incredible ideas and an incredible storyboard for a really weird video, and I was like, I want to like have it that much weirder. Can I get a crazy haircut and then also maybe shave my head at the end of it? And he was like, sure. So that's how it goes. Dan still has the outfit. I don't think I have the outfit. Were you actually nude running in the street in the music video? I was wearing a jock strap underneath like my flesh tone underwear. Like I think they were panties, and like that was my getup. But I did run through like not marked off streets in Silver Lake. Like I just ran through a neighborhood and I jumped out of a car and like ran down the street, and Dan had to film me. It was nuts. It was like the entire process of that video, of making that video, for me personally, I just had to like drop my ego on the floor and like forget I even had one and just do all this crazy shit, which was like truly really fun. I'm gonna keep going with this record because there's still a bunch to get through, and I wanna have time for more things. But this is the next one, which is weirdly ironic to hear right now. It's a song called Agora that is like very very much about being inside. Agora being a shortened form of like agoraphobic, meaning you're afraid of going outside, more or less. So here we go with this.
Slips on like a nightgown. Wear it around, stay in the house. I sit with roaches and don't go to town. I don't feel good, I don't make sound.
Cool. I just took a little like video for Instagram story to be like, hey, this is what's happening. So that's that song. I'm glad people like it. One of the funniest things that I keep thinking about with this song that drives me crazy is there's a lyric in there. Where is it? Oh yeah, I sit with brooches and don't go to town. I feel good, I don't make sound. I know that hearing it back, if you're not looking at the lyrics, it sounds like I sit with roaches, which drives me crazy because there's no way to like deeply enunciate the word brooches and not have you sound crazy. And like I tried it. I tried doing a bunch of passes where I was like, I sit with brooches and like being really hard on the B, and I was just like, So I have to just like just deal with it. Deal with like people possibly hearing I sit with roaches and don't go to town, which is less of the vibe that I am talking about in this song. So, yeah, exactly. People thought it was roaches. So sorry about that. Do you like to compose with guitar and bass as of right now? I don't have like a lot, like my studio setup. I can't like pick up my fucking desktop and like show you everything, but it's pretty minimal. it's like I do most of my stuff in the computer, but of the live instruments that I have, I'm lucky enough that I have my like family piano from literally when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I play it more than the rest of my family, and so I ended up just getting to adopt it once my brother and I moved out, which is sick. And then I have my old bass and some guitars and stuff. I can actually show you my bass because this thing is fucking ancient, and it's been with me through so much history. And look at all this crazy shit on it. My friend Hannah Shapiro from way back did the like paper mache, I guess it was, or whatever you call it. That's not the name of what this is. But the newspaper wrap on it, and then I added a bunch of crap with like whiteout paint from literally like 8, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that. So this bass is probably 15 years old. But yeah, it's a little Kodama from Spirited Away. Blah, blah. The funniest part about it that I have a little tape over it is she did the whole back too. Even here, it's a bass player's journey, which is like my favorite thing. So yeah, I use that bass. I have a guitar, another guitar, and then usually I'm just fucking around at the computer and like I record a lot of audio and then just fuck with audio however I do it. A microphone is the most important tool in my arsenal. So I took a very long time answering that question. You mentioned using sitar on Cerulean songs. No, I have not used sitar anywhere. Maybe a sample came in somewhere, but that sitar sound, if you're thinking of plea, came from the really high part of a guitar, like strumming it and fucking around with it. So just if that's a thing, I don't own a sitar or anything like that. The album is tonight. Yes, I layered guitar definitely. Exactly, unplugged electric guitar. It sounds like sitar and all that sort of stuff. Okay, I'm going to keep going. No, Mario, it's not. Here we go. Sick. So that's that one. It's so funny, like having people listen to this for the first time and like seeing the chat, because it's like I see the chat react to like moments in the song. It's like very surreal. It's almost like if you're playing a show and the entire audience is talking at once and they're just like telling you everything that's happening. It's so fun. Yeah, there's a lot of brass on that basically there's a bunch of brass in Romaplasm that I had somebody come in to do French horn, and I had them do something for this song that was just sitting around, and I had them do tons of layers and all that sort of shit. And I was always bummed that I couldn't find a place for this song because it also didn't make sense on Romaplasm for me, and also it was very incomplete. It was like nowhere near where it is now, like no lyrics, and the structure was fucked. Excuse me, that was a burp. So once it all kind of came together, this was like one of the most satisfying processes of a song, because it was like so in pieces for such a long time, and then it was like, oh, it just got funneled into a place where I was finally like, oh, this is sick to me. And I'm trying to think if there's anything like any cool secrets about this one. I think the beat itself was originally like the structure of that rhythm was like originally meant for something else, and then I was just like, it like that fell through and I took it back and got to do more stuff with it. So yeah. Any question? Who is this song about though? The thing is, and I'm not being facetious when I say this, I write a lot of songs about sex, intentionally not writing them about somebody because there isn't somebody in mind. It's like I'm a person who's very like open with how much I enjoy casual sex and talking about sex and that entire aspect of my life. Like, I'm a very sexual human being. And so I like to talk and write about sex as a subject entirely on its own. And I have a lot of songs that are like that aren't necessarily directly addressing a person, but they're just kind of about like a vision or a vignette of like a sexual experience or something like that. So I feel like that happens all the time. Actually, it's about Mr. Incredible. Yeah. It's not a sequel to Coitus. It's not related. I have a lot of songs about sex. It sounds like it would be very fun if they were related, but I mean, it's like, it's as related as any other song that I have about sex. No Eyes is a song about sex, and it's like very brutal in the opposite direction, but it's still, you know what I mean? It's like, that's how that goes. You can call yourself the glitch to the switch. I mean, I write a lot about sex. I can't help it. It's a big part of my life. And you would think that quarantine is, oh, it's so tough for me because I'm not having sex. I'm a very creative person. There are extremely fun ways to have sex when you are entirely by yourself. So don't doubt me. Don't doubt yourself and your own horny powers. Okay. I am going to hit this next one. I will pop away for a second while it's playing and while I'm muted to use the restroom, and I will be right back, everybody. So here is the next one called Stomach Tile. Sick. That's that song. Glad you like it. Yeah, that's the drums are me, but sped up because I'm not great at drums. And then it's just guitar and piano and stuff. This sat by itself for a really long time until the piano happened last minute when I was doing a lot of the vocals for this compilation, and that helped tie it together. And it was just funny how much piano I did on it, and then how much I kept taking off. It's like something you always forget about, like. I don't know. Just I'm really good at overproducing something, so like I really have to pay attention when I'm like going ham on something, and I was going fucking ham on piano on this song for a really long time, and then I just got to a point where I was like, take that out, take that out, take that out, and then the little part I was left with, I was like, that's enough. That's all that it needs. So, the name for this one and then the later track, because there's Stomach Tile and Lung Tile. I don't know how to explain it because it's not a direct reference, but it's like a visual space in my brain of like playing older survival horror games, and you would pick up objects that open doors and stuff that like never make sense but are somehow a key to something. And so in my head it was like a stomach tile and a lung tile equated to being like a key to something that I don't understand or something. It doesn't make any sense, and it honestly doesn't have to. It works for me as a song title, and so I kept it. Cool. Trying to think if there's anything else that I remember about this song. The song that we just heard was Stomach Tile, and then I haven't played Fortuna yet. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna jump on the next one. Just pop it in. Just pop it out. Just play the song. Just go. Just album release, stream. Yeah, my record comes out tomorrow. This comes out tomorrow. You heard it here first. So that's Fortuna. Oh, shit. Yeah, that one's a fucking mess. And that sound in it, that really gross thing. I don't know. When I would show it to people, they thought something like I fucked up, or like their computers were fucked up, but that's how it's supposed to sound. It's supposed to sound messy and gross. No idea what the percussion samples are. That kind of question is always funny to me. This isn't saying anything about the person who asked me. It's just a funny question to get because my brain just like, I don't keep track of anything. Like I don't keep track of like where a sound came from, or like where I originally did something, or like even if I have a guitar on it, I like often will forget like which guitar I used for it. It's just so unimportant to me, which is maybe bad as a producer for like other people, but because it's such a like insular process for me, it never matters. It just never occurs to me like where a sound came from. I'm like, literally my brain is like, does that sound good to me? Cool. And then I like use it and do whatever I want with it. You know what I mean? But like people ask me to like retrace something like that, like where did this come from, or where did this sample originally appear for you, or whatever, and I rarely know the answer. If I do, it's like a big funny exciting moment to me, because I'm like, oh shit, I actually do remember. But most of the time I'm like, huh. It's not 4 Mr. Incredibles, it's about 14 of them. I have a bunch of different ones. I love Mr. Incredible. How different is your process for making baths versus Geotic? It blurs as much as it does. It's not, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, sometimes I go in being like, this is going to be a bath song, or this is going to be a Geotic song, but sometimes I don't at all, and I'm just recording, and it just happens that way. The best, though, is like when I'm like, okay, I'm about to make an ambient Geotic record, because that's usually like I do a whole thing for it. Like, I'll go somewhere for a week and like just record in relative isolation type of thing. So you would think that a new Geotic record like that or something would have come out of this isolation, but I haven't felt that kind of inspiration, so I haven't wanted to. And I literally only make music when I'm inspired. Sorry, where's the... Oh, yeah. Fortuna, and then Wistful is the next one. Sorry, I forgot to switch the lyric panel over. What kind of inspiration am I getting in quarantine? I don't know. It's all over the place. No idea. I'm gonna keep going because there's still so much record left, and I want to make sure I get it all in. No! This is the second time I've done that, where I restarted the song I just played. Here we go. You may know this one. This was the first single that came out before we had announced the record. Okay, 6. I like so much of your music reminds me of Treasure Planet. That fucking rules. There's something about like, do you listen? Yeah, do you often bop to your own bops like you bop to this bop? Yes, I do. I feel like it is insane to make music and to not enjoy the music you make. It's like, why on earth would you make music if you don't? I make all the music that I want to hear, so that's how that works. I fuck it up a lot, but I do my best. So, cool. I have other Bud songs. maybe you haven't heard. Who knows? This wasn't cut. It's not. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like these songs were like cut from Romoplasm. Like it wasn't like I had them lined up. Like, okay, this is going to be on the next record. Oh wait, no, it's not. There's nothing like that. It's like a song that I started working on that I was like, oh, this doesn't have a place on the new record. I'm just going to do something else. And so it just sat around for a while. It was like I already knew that it wasn't a fit, but I was still having fun making it, type of thing. You know what I mean? Bop, 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 bop. Glad you like the look of them. Brian. A men's Kate Bush song. I am glad. Thank you very much. What's my favorite kind of boat? As though I know a boat. I don't know a boat. I did have a white... Oh, do I have that fucking photo somewhere? I did have a whiteboard for Romoplasm way back. I did have a whiteboard. I used it once, and then I don't think I used it again, but it was fucking tight. It made me feel like producers I see in videos and stuff. I was like, ooh, this is very self-actualizing of me to have a whiteboard. I literally like wrote a bunch of shit down and then like left it alone. It was almost like an art project. You know what I mean? Greenwood is great. I would love to be on a sailboat. Oh my god, for Halloween I was a fucking sailor. If you roll back in my Instagram feed, you might see some of those photos, and I looked good as a sailor. Family could be a dad and a dad and a dad and a dad. Okay. I am going to pop into the next one. I want to see where we're at. I think you will like this one. And I love the title very much. Veranda Shove. So here we go. Thanks for hanging out on the stream, everybody, and being excited about this record. It's making me excited all over again. So I love it. I feel very good. I'm having a great time. Thanks for hanging. Here we go. Sick. That was that one. Yeah, that one's loud. I like that one a lot. It's also fun because there's no words to it. I don't know. It's just loud and fun, and I like it a lot. And yeah, that some of you caught that the vocal sample. I think the song is Voyeur from the Ocean Death EP, and it was like, shook my table. That song I think started out like this, the Veranda Shove file, whatever the name I had for it, is the same file name for Voyeur, but this was like a branch I took it in that was the starting branch, and I couldn't get it to a place where I liked it, and I backtracked, and then I went on a different branch, and it ended up becoming Voyeur. And Voyeur is the song that makes the most sense with that vocal sample for me, but this was like, it wasn't like making the two different things. I was like, okay, this is the version with the vocal sample that's like this, and this is the other one. It was just like, I came back to this version when I was looking for things that I could use in like an odds and sods collection, and I was like, oh, I should have finished this. I do like it. And so I just kind of took it upon myself, like, I know it uses that sample, but who gives a shit? I'm just gonna like finish the song up because I always wanted to, and then I did, and it sounded fun, so I like it. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to get into music but has never learned an instrument? That is a good question. There's so many ways to get into music that don't require you necessarily being on an instrument. Like, it can certainly help, but so much of it has to do with experimenting. Like, you have to find out what you want to do with music. And people who start playing music really young, the whole thing is that it's like you get to fuck around first. You don't sit down at a piano and somebody says, like, okay, this is precisely how you play the piano. They'll, like, put you in front of the piano as a kid and let you literally just, like, bang on the keys. Like, your first experience with any instrument is always literally just tomfoolery. So get some tomfoolery going. Just start fucking around on anything you want, doing whatever you want, even if it sounds like garbage. And then you'll start to like lean into spaces that you like. You're like, maybe I like piano, or maybe the feel of guitar is more interesting to me. You just have to sort of like fuck around with things in whatever fashion you want to start to parse out what interests you. And I think that's true of anything, you know? Like, if I was into archery, I would want to like handle a bow and arrow and see, like, obviously learn how to not fucking kill somebody, but be like, let me fuck around on it, let me see what I'm into, and then if I don't like it, whatever. It's that kind of shit. You just gotta fuck around with it. I was lucky enough that in my life I was jealous enough of my brother when I was really young that my parents allowed me to start piano also. Not allowed me, but you know what I mean. I also started piano because my brother was playing it. And I had a really early start with music. But for somebody who doesn't have any musical experience, just find ways to fuck around with stuff and like borrow instruments or go to places where you can play on pianos. Join a piano club at school if you have one of those, you know, all that sort of stuff. But nothing says you have to be good on an instrument in order to make music with it also. That sounds counterintuitive, but it's very true, especially with the amount of technology that we have today. Some of the best musicians that I know of, that I know of and that make music or whatever, like, don't have any proficiency on an instrument. They are just really, really good producers and know how to, like, make shit happen. We have a special guest. It's my brother, John. John, there's 514 people watching.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's like we're at a show and John just walked on stage. Do you want a chair? Do you want to pull this up?
No, okay.
This is my brother John, everybody. John, everybody's like, John. John is a big inspiration on my records because he's my brother.
Okay.
Maybe not a direct inspiration, but I'm always like, John, what's this sound like? And he's like, great job. And I'm like, I'm inspired.
I'm going to go around telling people that your music's about me.
Don't do that, because that's
that's
really bad idea.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
That is a very, very bad idea. But this is my brother. He's tight. We make a podcast together. Some of the people in the chat may have made you aware. If you go to 2.0 podcast, that's our podcast. It's very ridiculous. I have only a few more songs left, I believe. Yeah, so I want to get to them to leave enough time on the tail end of it. I may go over 2 hours, who gives a shit, but like, to fill in the space that I said I would take up. But this is my brother. We'll hang out and chat more a little after this one, but I'll play this one in the meantime. This is Lung Tile. Mic is live now. Hi everybody, we're back. I say we because my brother is on the floor behind me. That's the vibe. He's on the ground. That Vine we made, you better watch out, you better watch out. It is a legacy Vine. I do know that. So some of you may have heard the song before because it was on my friend Rishi does this Song Exploder podcast, which I'm sure a ton of you have heard of. And way back, there was some kind of I can't even remember, but an EP or something that I put out through him and through Song Exploder of unfinished or unworked songs or whatever. And this was part of it. And it was it's the perfect thing to put on this compilation. So it made sense. And it was one of the most complete things I had made. And this was one of the last tracks that I fully did in Digital Performer versus Ableton when that was still a thing. So that's a fun fact about it. Anybody got any questions about that track? We only have 2 more left on the album. Yeah, the Hall remix. He did a Hall remix also, and he had a fucking choir record on it. It's amazing. So if you haven't heard the 1AM Radio remix of Hall, it is out of control good. It is so good. Song Exploder is incredible. Why are the B-sides false? Because a B-side is an actual name for something where it's like, yes, you can kind of use that term anywhere, but it comes from being like the B-side on an actual record. And most of these songs never came out anywhere. They're like mentally treated as B-sides because they're not like focused tracks or anything. They're not main singles or anything that I've put out. So calling it false B-sides is kind of like the right mentality around it. And pop music is a nice way to kind of loop them together because a lot of them are that way. So that's the thinking behind that.
Hi, Caitlin.
Caitlin's in the chat.
Yeah.
Hi, Caitlin. The chat moves very quick. When do you half step when it does the pitch shift thing or just the vocals? I don't know. Actually, I don't remember. When do you choose to add lyrics or not have them? Have you ever taken lyrics out of a song you've previously added? Yes. I had full, complete lyrics for Maglev, and the more I listened to it, it's a Geotic song, and the more I listened to it, the more I was like, this sucks, and I just took them out. It's literally like everything I do is based on feeling and instinct, for better or for worse. So I don't have a lot of like, this is why I did that. It's the why is me being by myself, being like, no, or yes. It's just that. It's just like, this doesn't sound good with lyrics anymore, and so I'm taking them out. Or like, this still needs lyrics, and I'm going to work on them until I have them, and then I do. This is like the funniest aesthetic to have you sitting on the ground behind me. Like, I'm talking about my own music, and then I just have this like shadow of my brother in the back. But I told him I wanted to come in and say hi on the stream because it's fun. It's good to have family on the stream.
Having a sit.
He's having a sit. Are the drums digital or pre-recorded? They always sound so organic. It's usually like audio drums, and then I stitch them digitally in a way that's like less productive or stupid to most people. Like, the people that have seen my production streams are like, what the fuck are you doing sometimes? Because I sit there and I like move every sample around instead of using like a drum kit and playing them or whatever. But I like that kind of stitching control to it. It's more like painting for me. It's easier to think of, if that makes any sense. I'm scrolling down. There's Russian in the chat. Will Basement's support other artists in the future? That is something I would love to do. I just literally have zero infrastructure for it right now because I don't even have my own stuff fully out and together. Like, this release is kind of the culmination of a ton of effort put towards that happening. Once I do that, we're getting going on a bunch of other stuff that I'm not privy yet to talk about, but we're working towards some other things. And the goal, yes, in the future is to help support other artists through this label. I would love to do that. Okay, I'm going to jump into the next song. We have 2 songs left, and then it's full chat mode hangout, and I have another sort of half surprise, so we'll get into that. So this is the next one, which you have also maybe heard, called Be That.
Most things are not at all like I thought. You like to be in the room with me, see what I need. Most things are not at all like I thought. I don't feel the same for you. I have a different view, but I feel it, I do. I empathize, I have been that guy. I feel it, I wish I could be that. I like the love you had. I
And we're back. Hi, everybody. That leaves only one left for this this album. Oh, fuck. I just ruined it. Hold on one second. Oh, nope. I will get to it in a second. But yeah, that's that song. John, can you tell us a rock fact? My brother's a geologist, if you don't know. They want a rock fact, John.
They're so hard to just come up with on the
He'll
spot.
think of one, and then get back to us.
Okay.
Trying to think. Whoa, Jesus Christ! The chat just exploded with rock fact. This reminds me of Incompatible. You write about unrequited love or the more ugly or unfortunate moments in relationships in such nice ways. Thank you. Yeah, it's just the idea of like, and it's happened to me a number of times of like having somebody be into you and you don't have that feeling, and it's the lamenting that you don't have the same feeling, as opposed to being like, gross, get away from me, because it's never like that. You're always just like, I'm sorry that I don't feel the same way. It is a bummer that I don't feel the same way. So that's relishing the bummer of it. Newman Wolf says, John, tell me what the biggest rock is.
Oh. Okay, so there actually is...
Shut up.
No. Like...
There's not a biggest rock.
There's got to be a threshold for, like, size of a rocky planet before it's, like, just becomes a gas giant or something, right? Like, it attracts too much other material. Or collapses in on itself. There's got to be, like, an upper limit for biggest rock. I don't know what it would be.
I don't know what it would be either, because I'm not a geologist. That's tight, though.
Earth is the only planet that we're aware of that has plate tectonics.
That's a rock fact.
And liquid water and life. Are any of those related?
Who knows? That's a rock fact. My fly is like, it makes it look like my dick is out, but it's not. I'm on the stream.
Don't buy diamonds.
Don't buy diamonds. That's John's other rock fact. Fuck diamonds. Everybody says they've been fascinated. Dicks out for rocks. Illuminati. Hell yes. Classic chat here. Okay, I got one song left. It's a little longer. It's the last one on the record. It means a lot to me. I think you can say that about anything, but this one truly, because it is a direct collaboration with Morgan, my bandmate, who I talked about earlier on the stream, who is like a huge, huge undying inspiration for me. And we made the song in the place we used to live, in my bedroom, like at the same time, and the entire thing is essentially a live take. The only editing I did on it was mixing. Everything you hear was like a live loop I did and then performed over, or like sang over. Like it all kind of happened. The entire song happened within like 2 hours. So it's live, but like live in a kind of recording, looping, jamming sort of way. But it's something that I really, really like. And the lyrics I had on deck from something else that was one of those perfectly serendipitous things that, like, I just brought out the lyrics and was doing the song with Morgan, and they lined up so perfectly that it was like, what's the word? Divine serendipity or something like that? I don't know. And it was fucked up, because that rarely happens. So for me, it's very special. And it was one of the last things that my dad told me he was really proud of with me before he passed away. So it means a lot, and it's very special. And even if you don't like it, it doesn't matter, because I had a great time with it. So here we go. Here's the last song. And then I'll see you after. We're going to chat more and hang out. And see you soon. sick. That's the record. That's pop music / false B-sides too. Yeah, sick. Thanks everybody. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like the journey. So we're still hanging out. We're chatting. We're talking. I got a weird little. It's not really a surprise, but it's like a nice, fun thing that we can also do. I'll probably start that at like 2:45 if it's 2:30 right now. So in like 15 minutes, I'll start up that last thing, and then we'll hang out. We'll do what we want. Blah 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 blah. Hear all the lyrics. Blah 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 blah.
Hear all the lyrics like that shit here.
Yeah. Do you want to read the lyrics? What if I just like? Okay. Let's pop in the chat. Let's see what's up in the chat. Yay! People like it. I'm glad you all like it. Pump those lyrics into my veins faster. When do you think vinyl is shipping out, or is that above you? It is sort of above me, but I think it's already shipped. Because, like, if I got mine, I think that means all the vinyl has shipped, so I'm pretty sure it's, like, out. I'm pretty sure it's, like, it's headed to you. Thank you. I'm glad y'all gonna listen to it again and sit with it and have fun. Chat's moving quickly. I'm doing my best to, like, hold it down. Yeah, vinyl should be shipping out now. My manager is in the chat and has confirmed. Also, I wouldn't have a label. I wouldn't be putting music out on my own if it weren't for my manager, Sean Koplow, who is a dream. And he has done so much to help make this happen. So if you're wanting to give a shout out in the chat to Sean KOP, that is my manager, Sean Koplow. Okay, how often are Genius lyrics wrong? I have no fucking clue.
Like Lyric Genius.
Lyric Genius, yeah. Hi, Bryant. I love egg. Spotify now. I think it should be. Whoa, I just got a huge boost in people watching. There's like 700 something now. Hi, everybody who's brand new. I just played my new record that is out tomorrow, so if you want to roll back in the stream and listen to it once the stream's over, whatever, it'll be there. Shout out Sean. Yeah, we're having a Sean moment in the chat. I love it. You have no idea how much work he puts into like helping make the label possible, get my records out. Like literally none of it would be happening without him. Just so you know. Oh my. Yeah, Ollie, that's my manager. Oatmeal. Hey, what's your favorite non-traditional way to make sounds and music? Sure. That's it. No, actually, I have no idea. I mean, like, non-traditional, it's like I use traditional things badly, which is pretty non-traditional. I'll sing in stupid ways. One of the dumbest things I ever did, trying to be a cool producer, was I did a bunch of vocal takes singing face first into a bowl of water. And I did that for 4 hours, doing tons of layers and all this other shit. Sounded like shit. All of it was garbage. Nothing was usable. Dumbest thing I ever did. And that's what it means to be a musician. A lot of people are saying oatmeal highlighted in the chat. You have to do something to highlight it, so that's like a big thing. John has a question.
Can I ask you a question?
John wants to ask me a question. You can ask me any questions. It's like we can treat it like interview style.
What do you think was the hardest lesson to learn that you find valuable being a producer?
That is a good question. Can you say it louder again?
I asked, what was the hardest lesson to learn that you find valuable as a producer?
I think it's finding your voice, because it's not a thing that you like can actively really do. It's like I think a lot of people are concerned about that make music, about like being an individual and having an identity as a musician. And the only way you get there is by doing so much of something that your personality just has to shine through, no matter what. Like, I don't make an active effort to, like, make something sound like me. Like, if somebody's ever like, oh, you really, like, pulled out the baths on this one or the geotic on this one, I'm not, like, I don't think about it that way. I'm literally just doing what I want. So I feel like that's what you have to do, is just literally do what you want for long enough, and then everything kind of just falls into place with that. So, like, don't focus way too much on, like, trying to have an identity
That's cool.
in that way. Yeah, just do your thing.
Do you recognize your own musical voice? Like, if you heard something that sounded like you, would you be able to pick it out?
No, and that's that's a little too cerebral for me to, like, know how to answer. I would just be like...
Because, like, I've heard stuff and been like, this reminds me a bit of Will's voice for XYZ reasons. But...
One of the only... Okay, my friend Morgan, our old roommate, I never fight with him. We are very close friends. The only argument I ever had with him was when we were on tour, and he played something that was like a collabo moment we had that he had recorded that I forgot about. And I said, "Who is this? It's tight." And he said, "It's us." And I was like, "Ha ha ha, very funny. Who is this?" And he was like, "It's us." And I, like, didn't understand or believe, and I went back and forth with him. I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he was like, look, it's us. And I was like angry because I thought he was just fucking with me. And he was like, "You're an idiot." And I was like, "Oh my god, I am an idiot." So that's the answer to that question. If you become comfortable enough with the medium, your style will emerge naturally. That is exactly the thing. Even if you're uncomfortable with a medium, as long as you just do shit in it. Like, you don't have to be good at something necessarily for, like, honesty to come through. That's especially true with music. A lot of my favorite music and musicians in the world are not super professionally trained or super proficient at anything or even any instruments. They just, like, their personality is, like, too much and just bursts out of the shit that they do. And it's like, honesty is so much more satisfying to listen to than proficiency. For me, always, 100,000% of the time.
Right there with you.
John agrees. I don't know if you can hear, because the mic is like... So I reciprocate his words. Will you do something live on Twitch? Well, I am right now, sort of. But also... Yes, there's already something planned for, I believe, Sunday. I'm going to do more production streams. I do games on here every now and then, but I'm going to be doing, like, production streams where I live produce something, and then I'll also do production workshops. And I don't know how I'm going to schedule them all yet, but those are both plans. Oh, I'm glad you liked that song. There's a song you played that someone recorded you singing at a show, and the only lyric I remember was, "Fuck," and it wasn't No Eyes. Well...
How many songs do you say fuck?
I say fuck in a number of songs, so I have no idea. Have you ever been inspired by a specific physical sensation? Taste, smell, or texture?
Not touching that one.
I'm touching that one. Semen. I recently watched your Pitchfork live set from 2014, and there's this mind-blowing improv part that always sounds like odd tech. Are you planning to release music that approaches this strength? I have no idea. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I like those jam sessions you and Morgan had built into the city.
Yeah, like, I think there were... That's what they're talking about, are those jam sessions. I couldn't piece that together. We're not going to release those, but that was, like, the thrill of Morgan and I doing our live set together, was having those improv moments, and that he really pushed me to do those. I was the one that was very afraid going into it, being like improv, like a whole section that isn't a song, like, how can we do that? That's so terrifying, and blah, 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 blah. And then he just made a really, really strong case for it, gently, and over the course of a couple of weeks. But when he did, and once we started doing it in practice, it was literally, like, the most fun part of our live sets for the entire time we were doing them. So I'm infinitely grateful to him for that. How do you feel about that old-ass Charlie XCX song that samples you? I am fully over it. I was angry for a bit, but that's because I was 20, and I didn't know how anything worked, and I was so precious about music and about everything and about art that I was kind of an idiot. And I think I held a grudge that I have certainly gotten over, because I'm basically a huge fucking Charlie XCX fan. So, bygones, I guess you would say. Her shit is great. Will the Bee and Puppy Cat music ever come back on streaming services or other places? I don't know. I also have finished all the music for season 2, and I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out, but it's good, and I'm really proud of the stuff I did. And the show is so fucking great, so look forward to that for whenever it's coming out. A lot of people are saying "Come Song." They need to slow down. Everybody chill out.
Say what?
Don't worry about it. What kinds of new projects are you excited? I need to like not lean over my computer like this because I'm hurting my back. What kinds of new projects are you excited about getting involved with? Finishing my next record. I am in the middle of working on a new record, and that's all I'm thinking about. And though I would like to be excited about other projects, I don't have the brain space to make that happen at the moment. But I have some collaborations that I have finished that I am excited about, but they're not taking up mental brain space because they're done. You know what I mean? Right now I gotta focus on me. I gotta work on my new thing. How is Pop Music / Post Sides 2 different than the first one? I just think it's more mature. There's a lot of stuff on the first one that really, really feels dated. Like, uncomfortable for me to listen to type of shit. Just as a heads up. But it's like, there's a lot of charm in that. There's a lot of music. Like, especially for me listening to another artist, I can always get into their older stuff, etc. Blah, 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 blah. What are some of your favorite new albums? That is a very good question. I know it's not out yet, but I'm super looking forward to the new Amnesia Scanner record because all the songs I've heard off of it I've been, like, obsessed with. They're so fucking good. I'm just looking at my, like, current listening stuff. I mean, the new Perfume Genius, obviously, the new 1975. It's not brand new, but I'm really obsessed with this EP from Isles, I''LLS. Can I Go With You to Go Back to My Country is great. What's some other new shit? No Joy has a new record coming out soon that I can't wait for. I am gonna freak out when that happens. I love the new song. Brian! How do I highlight a comment? I don't know how to do that. Maybe I can ask my mod. Can you highlight this comment about B-Sides 2? He wrote, B-Sides 2 captures you exactly halfway between baby and daddy. I love it. Oh, Lorenzo Senni, the new fucking Lorenzo Senni record. I am obsessed with it. So fucking good. Absolutely staggering record. The song, I think it's like Afraid of Falling or Fear of Falling. Hold on, I'm about to make sure that I don't fuck up the title of it. The Power of Falling. Failing. Look at me, I'm a fucking moron. The Power of Failing is one of the best songs of the year for me, easily. I was like floored the second I heard it. I'm obsessed with it. When you're beginning work on a song, what are the first elements you work on? Do you usually begin with harmonic elements, percussion, or vocals, or is it variable? It's extremely variable. It's always random, always different. Even on the couple of production streams that I've done, I started in 2 different places. One of them I started with vocals, and then I made a beat that I already don't like. I listened back to it, and I was like, fuck that. But the second one I did was all, like, texture. Like, I started with weird textures and then started filling in a beat with it. So it was, like, gross and whatever, but that's how that works. You never know. Yeah, my manager is interjecting that I have a Spotify playlist of a bunch of stuff that I like and all of that stuff. Yeah, the album is Scaccomato. I'm definitely going to mispronounce it. It's Italian. Scaccomato. But the song, The Power of Failing is amazing. That's Potion Wares. Yes, that's the one. That's the Spotify playlist. Potion Seller, Potion Wares, whatever it is. New Dan Deacon is great. It's fucking incredible. It always is. Dan Deacon is another one of those people that it's just like, there is no way for him to not make honest music in a way that just he can't help but have shine through, like, so viscerally. Like, you hear a song and instantly know it's a Dan Deacon song, and you get so hyped just because you're like, oh, it's the fucking man. All his music is amazing. His newest one is, like, one of his best. Obsidian definitely felt like a concept album. It was a concept for like the years that I was not feeling good. So in that sense, I guess. I don't know about releasing that song Void. I have no idea, especially because there's a huge fucking sample in it. What's up?
What would you say is the biggest difference in how you feel about an artist? Like something you weren't into at all that grew on you the hardest, you know, like the biggest discrepancy.
The 1975, probably. At least recently, in recent memory. Like, the 1975 I just didn't have an affection for, and then I heard the song Give Yourself a Try, which was this exact middle ground in my head between the radio department and, like, super, super, like, charting pop rock music that I had never had that exact middle ground before, and it just, like, immediately was like, fuck you, Will, you love this song, and it was, like, it was just so brutal. Like, I don't fall that hard for a band, but, like, the second I heard that song, I was like, I'm done for. The song is too fucking perfect. Fave radio department song is a very, very impossible question for me because I listened to, like, all of their music all at once for a very long stretch of time. Like, I'll put on, like, 3 or 4 of their records in a playlist and play it all through. Like, I just love so much of it that it's hard to have a favorite. But one of their newer singles I did play on repeat, and that was, forgetting the name of it because I forget everything. I'm just checking it out right now. Your True Name. That song is, like, unstoppable. Perfect, perfect pop song. Yeah, there's so many people watching. There's, like, 1,000-something people watching right now, which is crazy. What inspired the words Birds of Light and Sound? I don't know. Lyrics are like that. I write them, and then I forget. Did anything in particular inspire the darker tones of Ocean Death, or were you just like, yeah, this shit's good? It's always a bit of both. I mean, like, you hype yourself as you're making something, being like, oh, fuck, oh, sick, but then another part of you is also like, but also, like, what am I saying? Like, what am I trying to say? So, you write the line. Are you still into Azada Booth? 1,000%. Morgan is my bandmate. I'm, like, obsessed with Azada Booth. Oh, it's 2:45. My mom popped in to say. So, the next thing that I had planned is that I'm going to open up the Mikaela Corridor session, and you can ask me questions about putting that song together. So, Mikaela Corridor is the 3rd track? Yes. The 3rd track on the newest one. So, I'm going to open it up, and let's get that going. Hi, everybody. I'm putting the chat somewhere where I can see it, so give me just a second here. Okay. I'm trying to see if that window will still function. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, can everybody see it? Go over samples. So this is, I'm just gonna, like, play pieces of this so you can hear it. Let's open all this shit up. Hold on. Where are we at?
Dream a winding corridor.
So this is, I guess this is kind of useless because I'm moving really quickly here. But, yeah, what do people want to know? I don't know. This is like, this session is like really ancient. And the funniest thing was opening it up. The first thing I discovered was like, so these are the beats down here, this stuff. I just soloed these 2 tracks. And once it falls in, they kind of like even out more. Oh. They aren't even the regular kicks and stuff. I guess these are the regular kicks up here. Yeah. Layering is like the most essential thing to everything. You just gotta do a bunch of layering. At least for my sound stuff. One of the funniest things, sorry, that I was gonna say was that there was this whole section of shit up here that was, I thought was part of the song, but is like not in it. These juicy claps. And so I had found out when I looked at this that I repurposed those into like a bounce thing over here. So it's just like little weird sounds from that. And stuff that when it's combined with the beats, it's like just some additional textures in there, stuff like that. But there's always stuff like that in all my sessions, like stuff that I stopped wanting in a song or like gave up on, but are like still in the session, you know, that are just kind of sitting there. John's waving in the back.
Hi, Murd.
So yeah, ask me if you have any, ask me questions or what questions you have. Is this? Yeah, these synths are really cute.
Lose me to the shape they're in.
What's everybody saying? Hold on. Mikaela Corridor collab remix. Lately I've been, using pretty much Ableton for everything. It's just fast. It's so intuitive, so I'm able to just like blast out ideas. Like my whole thing is always whatever streamlines, whatever kind of artist you are, whatever streamlines your ideas into existence the fastest is the tool you should be using most often, like so that you can just get sketches out, get things out, and work on like arranging them into something different or more contextualized later on. And so for me, Ableton I can blast some shit out, and it's like the way the program works. It's very intuitive, and I can just have ideas come out really fast. So I really, really like that. I don't know if it's more intuitive than other DAWs, because the whole thing is it's whatever your preferences are. It's just that I had been working in Ableton for long enough that it worked for me. So I am not what's the word I'm thinking?
Hungry.
I'm not hungry. I am not I don't have the power to say whether it's better than another DAW. I wouldn't. The authority. Jesus, thank you, John. How do you lay this out, piano roll? Yeah, for the like simple synth stuff, I'll like I also have this amazing little thing. I actually just recommended this to a friend recently. It's the Keith McMillan keyboard. It's like indestructible, super flat, super small. All the pads are not only pressure sensitive but XY sensitive, so you can like do effects on them and shit. It's out of control. Very, very versatile little piece of equipment. It's like $100. But I do that on my table if I need to do a quick piano part or a bass line or something. I have an actual piano when I'm doing like piano stuff. That's all you get. That's all you get. Stream takeover. My hardware setup is my computer, and then I have a Claret 4 Pre, and then I have a mic Pre, because I have a nice microphone, a C414, which is my most versatile tool. I use my microphone for fucking everything. I feel like so much of my music is microphone stuff. Just shit I've recorded or samples I've taken. All the piano stuff that I play sounds like me because I haven't like tried to read music in like 10 years. I like don't know how to play anybody else's music. I literally only just fuck around and play what I want on the piano. So I lost a lot of skills when it comes to like reading music and playing along with other people, but I can do my own universe world of bullshit. Do you have a classical background for piano? Yes, I started when I was 4 and I stopped when I was about 11 or 12, I think. Is that right? Like 8 years, something like that? 7 or 8 years?
Roughly. I was in 7th grade and you stopped, I think, just after me. So.
Yeah, exactly. And it was basically I just had a huge falling out with piano because I was playing music that I wasn't passionate about. And like I didn't know that there was another route. And then I stopped playing for like a year or so. And then when I started playing again, I was like, oh, fuck. This is great. I like to do whatever I want. This is actually the sound I wanted to show you in here when talking about like audio samples and like making a track sound interesting and all of that. This really cool like sample. You can barely hear it, but like I had made when I was working on Obsidian, I did a bunch of like how am I trying to say this? Like focused sampling where I like went out with a recorder or I did stuff at home where I kind of grouped samples together. So I did a bunch of like wood samples all together or a bunch of glass samples or a bunch of metal samples. And this was like something from the glass samples. I believe it's like the little like putting water on the edge of a crystal glass and like rubbing your finger on it, but then I like pitched it and stuff and did some other bullshit. Yeah, it's like that sound. So it came into this really spooky sounding thing that I never had a use for, and it was just sitting in my samples for a long time, but then it fit in this. You can like barely hear it, but in this first part you can hear it pretty well. Blah, blah, blah. So you can hear it in there a little bit. Yeah, I think that's it. Favorite synth? I don't know. I don't have it. The only synths I have are microKORGs. All the other stuff I have are software synths. I have a Korg SV1, which is decent, but I use it as a MIDI controller because it's like the smallest fully weighted keyboard, which is important to me because like a lot of the way that I play depends on the keys reacting correctly. So it's harder for me to play like a synth that is like, you know, I need the keys to bounce back on my finger, especially for like fast stuff. So I was really into that. Yeah, my manager put in a good reminder here. Follow my channel, subscribe to my channel. I am going to be doing a bunch more stuff, especially with the way things are. I have a lot more reason to be hanging out in front of this computer and in my living room playing video games, but I'm going to be doing production streams. I'll be going deeper in depth and answering questions about production and the way I do things and certain songs that I've done. And I'm also going to do live production, creating new stuff and whatever, you know, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be fun. I'm going to build out my channel, okay? It's going to be sick. Probably varies a lot, but this is also so funny to have you just in the zone. And I'm very happy that you're here.
Yeah.
I'm glad that my brother's here. It varies a lot, but on average, how long does it take for you to have a song ready? I feel like everything I start, I abandon if it doesn't sound good in 5 minutes. It is a tough thing to get over, but a song can take any amount of time. I have a friend who just told me he had a song he was working on because of the amount of collaborators, something like 18 months or something, like 12 months, 18 months, which can happen. I mean, a lot of these old songs, you could say that about them, that they took 7 years. They didn't. They just... pieces of working on them occurred 7 years apart or 3 or 4 years apart from each other. If you're talking about like hours put into a song, there are songs that have taken me an egregiously long time where like you could say something like 5 to 6 straight days of work but spread out, you know what I mean? So like whatever that is, like 130 hours or something like that, 140 hours, which is absurd and should not be the case. Normally it'll be like a couple of songs I'm working on for this new record I tried to complete in like 2 weeks almost, front to back, which is a pretty decent metric working in a casual way during the week. So I don't know. Also, there's no right answer to that. Like the song The Stones at the end of this record that is like one of my favorites on it, and it's very special to me. That literally happened in like 3 hours. It was a total freak fucking accident. And it's like, that never happens. Never happens for me. Songs always take so much longer than that. So that was like wild that happened. Yeah, it's very, very nuts. You never know. Favorite plug-in Max for Live? I don't know. I barely use it, but I use the LFO quite a bit. I just like toss that on something.
Little Freak Online.
It's Little Freak Online. That is what it is. Thanks for passing out the gift subs. Little Freak Online. Fave plugins and instruments. I don't know. I have like a favorites list here of like some really basic ones that I don't even... And they're not that interesting. They're just like sounds. What's cool in here? What if I just do this? No, hold on. I'm trying to find something interesting in here. Oh, this is a synth that was originally... It's supposed to be a bass sound, but I used the higher register for it because it's cute. What's this? This is that same sound that is now a bass. What's special?
It is evergreen.
These are my vocals.
The outside is evergreen.
See how pieced together they are? I think that's important to share. Is like, look how cut up and like pieced together these vocals are. Like, you don't accomplish a vocal in one take perfectly every time. Like, not at all, not ever. I think that idea and shooting for that is kind of bullshit, and you end up wasting a lot of time that you could be doing on more creative things. Not bullshit. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's like, I'm not the best vocalist, and so waiting for myself to deliver a perfect take is a huge detriment to my ego more than it is just my productivity. That it's like, I'll just be like, oh, I'm so shit, I can't do this. Whereas if you just piece together the pieces of it that you think are the best and adjust it and all that, it's great. It's like, you get a really nice pass. And nobody's the wiser. I can sing, but you know what I mean? Like, I suffer from, like, super shyness about that shit, and I can get very, very, very picky about my vocals and how they're delivered and the sound and all of that. For this compilation, though, I will say I took it easy on myself. I wanted to not have to focus too much on that, but, like, the new record stuff I'm working on, I'm being really hard on myself about vocals. I'm trying to get some really special stuff. What effects do you use on vocals? A really, really basic small slapback is helpful for like a lead vocal. Is that this? Hold on.
Is evergreen.
Yeah, so this is like...
The outside
That sounds very silly. Hold on.
is evergreen. The outside.
This is just two passes overlaid each other, so it makes it like a little thicker. So I think I have the... Hold on.
The outside.
Yeah, so this delay is like a... No, fuck, where is it? Do I not even have the slapback on this one? Doesn't matter. Basically, if you do a vocal and then you have a very, very, very short delay that isn't like super, super loud, it's like a little underneath it, it just kind of like gives it this like thickness that is really nice. So that's like a kind of bass thing that I do a lot of the time. Oh yeah, the album is already out for some people because it's midnight in certain places of the world, which is fun. I don't get nervous for live shows anymore because it's just kind of like all the shit that I had to worry about in regards to the live show already happened. I get nervous when I'm like preparing a live set at home and all that panic is like compiled into what I'm doing. But when I'm at the show and I'm about to play, I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, I'm here to have a good time. I think if you go into a live show nervous, it's like, at least for me, it's really hard. It just, there's no, like, I'm saying this weirdly. The way I think about it is like, I don't have time to be nervous. I have to communicate how much fun I'm having, or it's not going to be entertaining for people. And that's not a hard thing for me to do because I like to be entertained and I like to entertain. It's like the same way I like to have a conversation and I like to talk. You know, it's like a feedback loop. It's nice. I'm gonna answer a couple more, and then I'm probably gonna hop off because I have to eat something, and I don't want to go way over the time here. But I am very grateful for everybody hanging out here. I saw you in Amsterdam with Daedalus a few years ago. How do you get your sound to sound so amazing live? I don't know. I try my fucking best. I just like sit with it. Somebody says, "Give John the mic."
For what?
Do you want to say anything?
Rocks are cool. Check out your. If you go to a rock store, you can find fossils.
Oh, our podcast. John and I do a really, really dumb podcast called 2.0 that we are still doing through quarantine. We're doing it every Sunday, and it's very fun and very ridiculous. We've done an episode. It's like we take a dumb subject like skeletons and then try and improve it for an hour, and it gets really weird really fast. And we have a good rapport because we're related and have known each other for for a long time. For a very long
your
time.
whole time and most of my time.
Exactly. People are in the chat a lot of them are from podcast. From podcast. You know what I mean? They're friends of the podcast. Yay. Hi Hana. Thank you. If you haven't checked out Hana's stream on Twitch, she's incredible. And it's like so, I don't know how to say it, like in depth. Like she just has so fucking much going on and so much gaming and so much music. It's an idealized stream.
Is that the Hana I know?
Yeah. What is John's number one favorite rock?
Palisade.
I like that you had it. How do you spell that? Can I write it?
Yeah, P-A-L-L-A-S-I-T-E.
P-A-L-L-A?
Yeah, S-I-T-E. You were right. A-S-I-T-E.
Sick. Yeah, Palisade is John's favorite rock. I don't know what it looks like. Look it up. That'll be a fun thing. Yes, my moderator Ollie from the podcast. Thank you so much for doing this, for moderating the stream. The next time you see me will either be the production stream I'm going to do on Sunday, or I might play some more games. I'm close to beating Atelier Ryza, but I also don't know if I want to stream through the ending of it. We'll see. We'll see what's up. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. This is my brother.
Arms up.
Arms up. Arms up. No, I'm sweating. I don't want to do that. I look like shit.
I'll do it.
Okay, thanks, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye.